Everything great and worthwhile in human life is an accumulation of hundreds and sometimes thousands of tiny efforts and sacrifices that nobody ever sees or appreciates.
Every single decision you make throughout the day matters a lot more than you think. Not showing up on time, opening TikTok for 30 minutes, and even just hitting the snooze button. Those who succeeded just made more positive long-term thinking decisions than everyone else.
There is no cheat day. There is no binge and make up for it on Monday reality when it comes to the butterfly effect or the compound effect. Everything has a consequence. So the answer to this is, when you start making positive choices and the results are invisible and you're getting no reward for your positive choice, you just have to have patience.
It's like a snowball. A snowball starts off very small, but it grows as it adds millions and millions of tiny snowflakes and continues to grow as it gathers momentum, turning into an avalanche that takes the whole mountain in front of it.
I don't believe in talent. I'm here because I worked hard my whole life. Without that work, no one in this room would know who I am except my family. So to all the kids around the world watching, paying attention, and aspiring to be like one of us or even on the stage someday, put the work in and watch the magical ride you go on.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question. It's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year, right? It's the process of getting better every day and doing that for a period of years that then create the masterpiece.
Rome wasn't built in a day. We all know that. Everyone hears that. But Rome also didn't fall apart overnight either. It took hundreds of years for Rome to reach its peak, but it also took time, hundreds of years, for Rome to decay and fall apart. And that is representative of life, because you don't achieve worthwhile goals quickly or easily. They take time.
Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack. The hack is gonna suck. And that's what I realized.
There was a kid who everyone underestimated. Too small, too quiet, too ordinary. But every day while they laughed, he worked. In the gym, in the books, in the shadows. He knew one truth. Effort beats talent when talent doesn't try. Years later, they asked him how he did it, and he just smiled, because they never saw the grind. It's the quiet hustle that makes the loudest impact.
Everything that you do counts. The biggest mistake that people make is they think that only what they want to count counts. No. When you read a book, when you listen to an audio program, when you go to a course, when you go to bed early and get up early and you work, it all counts. And it's all going on the plus side of your ledger. But when you watch television, waste time, hang out, fool around, and so on, all of that counts as well. And it's going on the negative side of your ledger.
Remember this, is that people are time wasters, and the great majority of people have no goals, they have no priorities, they have no plans, they have no concern about becoming successful, and they think that you're the same. They think because their time isn't worth anything, that your time isn't worth anything also.
Understand that every choice you make ignites the compound effect, either in the positive or the negative. You've heard of the butterfly effect, right? The butterfly flaps its wings, one part of the planet. On the other side of the planet, there's a tsunami. That's exactly what happens in your life. Every choice you make ignites the butterfly effect. One little choice ignites a tsunami on the other side 10, 20 years down the road, either positive or negative. Every one of them.
The goal isn't to have the perfect daily routine tomorrow. The goal is to still be winning your daily routine in 50 years' time. If you expand your time horizon sufficiently, you will realize that very, very tiny steps can compound. The first step has to be incredibly small. Do that, make it so small that you can't say no to it. And then what's next? And then what's next?
You must be willing to extend yourself to the limit with no guarantee of success. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough?
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
the story of the bamboo. Bamboo spends its growth time under the dirt, 5 to 7 years. And then within a couple weeks, it shoots up meters and meters into the sky. And people are like, whoa, bamboo grows so fast. No, it didn't. It took years. You just couldn't see it. So when you see growth and you see wins, it comes from consistently compounding wins.
Every single day, you're given 24 hours. That's it. The same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference? How you use them. So ask yourself, are you making them count? Most people waste their time waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment. But here's the truth. That moment will never come. You have to create it. One choice, one step, one action at a time. 1 hour of effort today can change your entire week. 1 week of focus can change your month. Imagine where you'd be in a year if you started right now. The pain of trying, it fades, but the regret of never starting, that stays forever. Be stronger, be better, be fearless.
There's always someone out there who's working harder than you. I'm haunted by that one. Knowing that there's someone out there that's willing to forgo personal desires and comforts, forgo sleep, forgo whatever it takes to be better, to be the best. In life, a lot of times, a lot of us have that person out there. There may not be a name or a face to him, but he exists. You make sure in life when they think about that person, you make sure they put a name and a face to it. You make sure the name and face is yours. You do the haunting. Get in somebody's head. Own space. In all times when you want to quit, because we're all human, you make sure you remember one thing. All those times and hours and days you sacrifice to be the best. Stay hard.
You may have to put in many, many tiny efforts that nobody sees or appreciates before you achieve anything worthwhile.
One of the most powerful forces in life is consistency. It's consistency. Being able to do something in repetition over and over and over again. That's how you start big movement. That's how you get big results. That's how you build a body. That's how you build a business, is consistency. It's small wins every single day. The guys that are in Cooperstown, the best baseball players to ever play the game, they're not the dudes that swung for the fences every single time. It's the boring dudes who got on base over and over and over again. You want to win really, really, really big in life? You want to build a badass relationship and a badass business? Be consistent.
Everyone wants to win. We all want to be successful. But not everyone wants to wake up early, stay late, and sacrifice. And not everyone wants to keep the faith and hold to the vision until those sacrifices pay off.
Every morning when you get up, say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now, I do it now.
Here's an important point. If what you are doing is not moving you towards your goals, then it's probably moving you away from your goals. Nothing is neutral.
Well, it happens small until it happens big. The reinvention occurs in the micro actions that you're taking every single day. The tiny little things that perhaps no one even notices that are creating muscle memory around new behaviors. Tiny little things repeated over time is what produces dramatic change. It's like this curve, it's like this very slow curve until it asymptotes up. And everyone wants to talk about the pivot moment when it goes skyward, but the truth is, the real work is in the drudgery.
Correct.
And the difficult, anonymous work of shoveling shit every single day. In sobriety, they say, don't leave before the miracle. And I take that as a lesson in persistence.
A successful life is based on a series of successful days. And a series of successful days is based on working on a list, one step at a time.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
My father used to tell me, a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius. And so your most valuable asset isn't your time, it's your attention. A man with time and distractions will always lose to a man with a deadline and a singular focus. And so it's never been easier to be successful than it is today. It's just also never been easier to be distracted.
Here's the problem. You don't see how the consequences of that small, seemingly insignificant, poor choice in the moment has. In the moment, it doesn't look like it matters at all. You don't have that heart attack. Your face doesn't shrivel up. You're not shoved into the unemployment line. And your thighs don't turn thunderous. Oh, but you have done it. You have activated the compound effect. And that choice becomes behavior. And behavior that repeats becomes a habit. It accumulates, and then it compounds into calamity, into divorce, into career failure and financial ruin. The good news is the compound effect works in the other direction as well. You don't need to radically make over your life. You don't need to make quantum leaps of change. You don't need to completely overhaul your personality, your character, and your life. Super small, seemingly inconsequential adjustments can and will transform everything.
Consistency, man. That's the name of the game, bro. Don't get much simpler than that. If you keep going every single day and don't stop, your competition will fall off, bro. These niggas ain't cut like you, bro. They ain't ready for prime time. They ain't trying to really get right. They take days off, this day off, that day off. They lazy. I'm tired. No. Grind every day, one foot in front of the other, bro. And I promise you, you're gonna be lapping these folks, bro. Give it a year. Watch what happens.
No one has ever seen anyone get their together. What happened was that person disappeared. You didn't see them or hear from them for a while, and all of a sudden they pop back up and they was looking better, feeling better, and doing better. And you're like, oh, you don't hear a tree grow.
Damn.
The problem is a lot of y'all want to be on the scene. You still want to be seen. You have to remove yourself from them environments.
Everything that you're doing is either moving you toward the things that you want to accomplish in life, the person you want to be, the wealth you want to accumulate, or it's moving you away. Everything counts.
Successful people, winners, use their time well. Losers do not. The core of time management, the axle around which the wheel of life turns, is goals. What are your goals? What is it that you want to be or to have or to do? What is it that you want to accomplish in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? The top 3% in every field have goals. The balance of the population have either very vague goals or no goals at all. So the question you have to ask yourself is, who am I? Where am I going? What do I want to accomplish?
You got trust in the heart of hearts. Inside what you're doing, what you believe in is a worthy cause, a winnable fight. See, the thing is, for many people, they've tried the same path you're on, and they failed. As you walk this journey, you're gonna see carcasses all over the place of people that didn't quite have it. That should inspire you because you got further than that person and that person. But you're not looking to get further than them, you're looking to finish. How do you know you're on the right path? Where do you go to ensure that? Success, many will love you for it. The majority will hate you. Because your success makes them feel insufficient in their current endeavor. Reminds them of where they could have done it, but they came up short, and how they didn't revisit it. Where they went at and failed, and failure is what stood. They never revisited it again.
It's the little, monotonous, boring shit that builds the life that you're looking for. You have to do this every single day. Most people cannot do the monotonous shit day in and day out, which is why they can't succeed. They'll do it for 10 days. They'll do it for 2 weeks. They'll do it for 90 days, but they won't do it for their life. And doing it for life is what it takes to build this vision that you have for yourself into a real thing.
So you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them. Being fine with being mediocre.
Don't go through life just saying, you know what, I'm okay being average. Average sucks. It does.
With being average, are you not disgusted with being like everybody else? Being mediocre, being average, being mundane? Now, if you want to live an ordinary life, walk around, do your 9 to 5, watch some Netflix or some Hulu at night, just chill, then that's fine. But if you want to be an extraordinary individual and you want to live an extraordinary life, if you want to be extraordinary, first you have to be disgusted with your current situation. And once you're disgusted with your current situation, you must commit to changing.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, "You've changed," remember it's because they don't know how to say, "You've grown."
know you want everything to happen right now. You may have been working for a very long time, and at this point you feel like you have earned the result. But you have to understand that things aren't going to happen at the speed at which you think they should happen. Things are going to happen at the speed that they are supposed to happen. The only thing you can control are the inputs, the work, the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into what you're trying to do. You don't get to control the outputs. Don't think of your goals as this is where I want to be in 6 months or this is where I want to be in a year. Instead, say this is what I'm willing to do every single day until I get the result that I want. And I'm not willing to wait 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. I'm willing to wait as long as it takes.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
Set a goal to become a millionaire. And he said, here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. And I got one of the greatest classes in one sentence I've ever received in my life. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it. What a brand new reason for setting goals. And here's why. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become.
The average person thinks of terms of morning or afternoon. The above average person thinks of hours. The successful person thinks of half hours. The very successful person thinks in terms of minutes. They allocate their time carefully. Now, the only way that you can do that is what? Is you've got to keep track of what you're spending your time on. 60, 70, 80% of people are not aware of how they spend their time.
Whatever it is that you're pursuing to achieve or create or express in the world, I think a lot of people back out before that happens. For me, it always comes back to perseverance, persistence, high pain tolerance, an ability to suffer through discomfort, a welcoming of doing hard things, and willingness, really.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Listen to me. You got to want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat.
There's no limits. Don't let the world ever put limits on you. You can do anything you want to do, but make sure if you have a vision, make sure the vision is written. You know, make sure you have something to actually chase and not just hoping and wishing. Put your plan together and then work the plan. Don't work somebody else's plan. You have to create your own brand yourself. And your brand is whatever you feel like doing, whatever your heart is passionate about, chasing.
Everything accumulates over time. A person who has a great life is a person who's accumulated far more credits, more pluses on the credit side than debits on the debit side.
The most important thing is this: to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become.
There's a quote that I've fallen in love with. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Every single time that there is something in front of me, I feel like things aren't coming my way sufficiently quickly. I'm not making the progress that I want. It's because I'm dicking about over here and there is a large frog in front of me that I need to eat. I need to spend another half day reading a book. I need to spend some more time researching online and upping my skills in this particular area. I need to do whatever it is.
Don't cry to give up, cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt. Get a reward from it. Don't go to sleep until you succeed.
We all know the things that we need to do. So having those small wins every single day. You're not going to become a national champion on day one. You're not going to be a world champion on day one. You're not going to be the CEO on day one. You're not going to be a millionaire on day one. But from day one till day 1,000, doing the small things right every single day and never cutting corners, those small little decisions, those small little yeses, those small little accomplishments add up to the big things. Things can happen very, very fast if you've laid enough of a foundation. The foundation that you're building is the life that you're trying to accomplish. That is what it is built on. So it's just doing the things right. And everybody knows we can ask and seek for all these answers, but really we all know the right things to do. You wake up, you do the right thing. You go to bed, you wake up, you do the right thing. And it's those things done every single day, compounding on themselves. And then eventually you wake up and say, holy cow, look where I'm at and look what I've built. And I never really took a lot of time to pat myself on the back. I just kept moving forward.
You see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, It's the same thing, not a car or a person inside. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. You get better by coming out here and get after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. I'm gonna say it again because you might have missed it. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason.
I will build a prototype, but I'll do it perfectly or I don't do it. Are you familiar with the saying, perfect is the enemy of good?
Well, good enough is the enemy of humanity.
When you start stacking little wins, day after day, hour after hour, month after month, week after week, you start building a reputation with yourself. You tell your subconscious mind that when I make a promise to myself, I keep it. And that promise begins to build your reputation. That reputation is your confidence. And when your confidence increases, so does your competency. You get better at things. You get good at things. And therefore you are more confident. The more competent we are, the more confident we are. The more confident we are, the more competent we become. And that is called the confidence-competence loop. You can look that up. It's a thing.
Pretend there's a documentary crew filming your success story and they're following you around right now. What would you do? What would you do if you knew that there was a crew following you around with cameras documenting your future incredible success and they want to catch you in the act of it all? You would do all the right things you would have to do. Think about that, organize it. But we are saddled down by so many doubts that keeps people from action.
You need to start with the small wins. The small wins, the small things that you know you can control. Once you build that confidence, it'll lead you to bigger and bigger success. Life is about building blocks. It's not about one success. Whether you look at Kobe Bryant winning championships or Michael Jordan, they didn't win the championships on that court. They won it with all the repetition and the action of the small habits over an extended period of time.
Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change, but everything that you want is on the other side of hard.
Eagles fly alone. I have no friends. Friends are problems. Friends are challenges. If you're not into yourself enough that you can't spend the weekend by yourself, then there's something wrong with you. Vis-a-vis self-esteem, being a high-performance person, and accomplishing high-performance acts. Something's wrong with you.
I tell young people now all the time, I definitely tell my kids, if you are even remotely a savage, you'll run these people over. This next generation, and I know that every generation thinks the generation after them is soft.
Yeah. They're savages in every
But right now, yeah, if you are even remotely a savage, you will run over every one of these kids in this next generation.
That if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or gall, sickness or pain or body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it.
Raise your standards to really high standards. I would rather you set your sights not on the moon, but on the stars, because in the process of shooting for the stars, you will hit the moon, guaranteed. But in the process of shooting for the moon, you might completely miss it and hit nothing, right? So the most damaging thing you can do in life is to set low standards and then to achieve those low standards. Set yourself some high standards.
If you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no shit, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion. Where's passion when you're 300 pounds? Where's the motivation when you can't read and write? So how did this happen? I just did.
Champions do daily what everybody do occasionally. You just do it daily. You're not extraordinary. You just do the ordinary extra. That's it.
You have to work every single day. I think that's where your confidence comes from, because that work that you do every single day is key, because that's what you're going to be able to fall back on. And that's what you're going to be able to like rely on when push comes to shove.
When you start stacking little wins, day after day, hour after hour, month after month, week after week, you start building a reputation with yourself. You tell your subconscious mind that when I make a promise to myself, I keep it. And that promise begins to build your reputation.
Let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never.
Now you have to do the things discipline requires. And discipline doesn't care if you're tired. You're tired? Do it anyway, right? Discipline says, oh, you don't feel good. Well, do it anyway. Discipline says, it's raining outside and it's cold, it's windy. Do it anyway.
That is you. That is you. That no one can do it for you but you. And even though you face disappointments, even though you will experience some setbacks, it goes with the territory.
When you're suffering, you give up on the very things that you wanted the most. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
I'm astounded by how many people want to be spectacular in life but also want to be normal. By being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Exceptional people get exceptional results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and expect to not get what everyone else has got. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
If you just locked in and worked on yourself, your whole life could change. Now, am I gonna say you're gonna become a millionaire in the next 3 months? Bro, probably not. You'll probably even lose money. You'll probably fail more in these 3 months than you have in your entire life, because now you're actually going and trying these things. And in you doing that, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall. And in that process of you falling and getting back up, that's where you're gonna learn, that's where you're gonna build the character. And that's what will eventually lead to you becoming the type of person in order to make everything succeed.
I wanted to establish myself as a young leader on the team by waking up bright and early, day one. So the goal was to be the first one at breakfast. So I set my alarm. I make sure I'm up by sunrise. I get out of bed, I put on my gear, and I head downstairs. But when I get there, Kobe's already there, with ice packs on his knees, drenched in sweat. Now, it took me a minute to figure it out, but this guy wasn't only awake before me, he had already worked out. He had just played in the finals days earlier. Meanwhile, I'd been off for months and I was still exhausted. What he had done that morning was incomprehensible to me. That dedication he had only days after falling short of an NBA championship. That taught me something I've never forgotten. Legends aren't defined by their successes. They're defined by how they bounce back from their failures.
It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation, that you are an uncommon breed. You know, you have to know within yourself. What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
A lot of y'all be making these changes, but these little jazz changes. I had to stop hanging where I was hanging. I had to stop talking to who I was talking to. We know the eyes are a gateway to the soul, but the ears is the biggest gateway, because what you hear become part of your thoughts. Your thoughts become part of your mood and your physicality. Then that becomes part of your behavior. And your behavior, the result of that is the life you have now. So you got to control what you're listening to and who you listening to.
Everything counts.